The Cavern Club may be famous for the electric pulse of its musical history, but there are nights, long after the guitars are packed away, when silence settles like dust across the stage. And in that silence, some claim the past listens, and sometimes answers. One of the most disturbing stories whispered among Cavern staff and paranormal enthusiasts is known simply as the "That Went Wrong," an unsanctioned attempt to connect with the spirits said to linger in the club's legendary underground. What began as a harmless thrill-seeking experiment turned into a terrifying experience that no one involved ever forgot. The event is said to have occurred in the early 2000s, after a private party had booked exclusive access to the Cavern Club for an after-hours celebration. As the night wore on and drinks flowed freely, a small group of friends, a mix of musicians and tourists, decided to try something fun. In the old brick-lined corridor just beyond the main stage. One of them, a woman named Amy, according to retellings, had an amateur interest in the paranormal and brought a makeshift planchette, a set of candles, and even a worn Ouija board for atmosphere. They formed a circle in one of the quieter side chambers, where the acoustics swallowed their voices and the lights were low. They lit the candles, placed their fingers gently on the planchette, and began to call out, "Is there anyone here with us in the cavern tonight?" At first, nothing. Nervous laughter, a few jokes, but then the air changed. A sudden cold swept through the room, not a draft, but a dense, concentrated chill that made their breath visible. The candles, protected from airflow, began to flicker erratically, dimming and flaring as if reacting to an unseen presence. The floor, cold stone, was reported to vibrate faintly, like distant bass notes, although no music was playing. One participant described the sensation as being watched by something behind the walls. Then the lights, those in the corridor and beyond, began to flicker in sequence, pulsing toward the room like a wave moving closer. Just as Amy was asking a second question, "Who are you?" the candles blew out all at once, though no one moved. In that sudden dark, a friend reportedly screamed, not from what she heard, but from what she saw. At the far end of the tunnel, barely visible in the low glow from the emergency lighting, stood a shadowy figure, tall, unmoving, with no distinguishable face, just a void in the shape of a man, too tall to be any of them. Several of the group saw it. One said it looked like it had a brimmed hat. Another claimed it was wearing a coat that shimmered like static. What united them was what happened next. The planchette moved. On its own, one word, slowly, deliberately spelled out, "Stop." The group broke apart, several stumbling as they bolted from the room. One woman fainted near the main bar. Another man, a skeptic, admitted he was too afraid to speak for 10 minutes. Staff who returned later to check on the room found 2 candles still warm, though no one had relit them. The word "listen" faintly scratched into the dust on the Ouija board's surface, a word no one remembered writing, and one of the club's electrical panels had tripped, despite no overload or storm. To this day, the story is passed around as a cautionary tale, not just about, but about treating the cavern's spirit world with respect. No one knows what entity they contacted, if any. Some believe it was the man in black, disturbed by the intrusion. Others think it was something older, something woven into the foundation of the tunnels, dating back to the club's origins as a warehouse and air raid shelter. Paranormal investigators who've since visited the club have described that area of the corridor as a focal point of energy prone to EMF spikes, unexplained cold patches, and a sensation they call static dread, that uncanny feeling of a presence pressing against the edges of awareness. In a venue built on rhythm and celebration, this tale is a discordant chord, a reminder that not every presence at the Cavern Club is there for the music. Sometimes, in the stillness between songs, something else plays its own tune. And if you ever sit alone in the tunnels below Liverpool, surrounded by brick and memory, remember this: don't ask questions you don't want answered, and never strike a match if you're not ready to see who's watching. Many thanks for treading this tale's dark path. If its chill gripped you, like, subscribe, and comment below.